Hey, I wanted to relay a story or a lesson or learning that I was shown. The people that I have been with when they took their last breath, and all of the ones I have been present at, it has been a buildup. We've developed kind of a relationship. I've been a caregiver, and then eventually turned into more of a death doula role for 8, 9, 10 months. All the deaths I've been involved in have been about those time lengths. We knew that the person was maybe close, but they weren't deemed necessarily terminal yet when I started, and then it went into that and into that area. And then, uh, so the story I want to tell that relates to this chakra and that I find important, that shaped my life and was something that these folks that I had the gift and the honor to be with when they took their last breath is this. When I was introduced to these people, the very first person I ever cared for was my mom. So I was very close to her. Hispanic, tough woman, not one to put on these affectionate airs. And I would oftentimes say I love you to her, and her statement would be me too. So just to give you an idea of what the dynamic and the affections in her life and our lives were. And so it wasn't until I was caring for her when she was dying after months that she looked at me and said from her heart, from her true place, I love you. And I have spoken to many people since then, as I teach these classes, that have had the same experience, that it's not until someone who's kind of got a little bit more harder edge, and they don't dole out their I love you so commonly at this time, is when they say it, and the people who are close to them can really feel it and receive it. And that moment for me was a real reconciliation between my mom and I in our relationship. Then fast forward to people that I cared for professionally as a hired in-home caregiver. These are people I've always been with. The people that I've cared for have been in their 80s, 90s, so elderly folks since my mom. And the I have come to learn from these experiences that at our core and at our most inner place, we are love, and we want to love, and we very naturally can love. And I was learning that with my mother. I was also reading books that I think guided me to look at that. There was a book that the hospice nurse gave me called Coming Home by Deborah Duda. And I'm going to be taking us through a little bit of a guided meditation here in a moment. But one by one, what I want to share is that every single person I had been with, after months of caring for them and doing my best to unconditionally love them in their state, and having had a lot of preparation in that too, because I was simultaneously a massage therapist. And when you work in a spa, you don't know who you're going to get on your table, and you've got to touch them and care for them for a good hour, hour and a half. And you got to find something you love about them, or it's going to be a miserable experience if it's someone that you're not so drawn to. So I had practice at that. But then when I started doing the in-home caregiver positions as a private hired caregiver, that's where that really came into play, because people are going through some tough experiences. And one by one, what I want to share is I had every single one of those people I cared for turn to me and say, I love you. And these are people that are, of another generation that doesn't necessarily express this. This isn't like these aren't people who were raised maybe by a hippie mentality. So it's not something that they doled out easily either. It was a genuine, heartfelt, I love you. And those I love yous, I they hit you to your core, and that's why I feel like they come from their core. And that's why I have a belief, it has been my experience this life, that at our core, that is what we are. It's our essence, it's our source, it's just what keeps us going. It's not just something we feel or something we do, but it's just what we are.